Hey boys, welcome back to the channel, and it is the first round of the season coming up on Thursday night, the 10th of March, and we have got our first team list Tuesday for the 2022 season. So this video, I'm just gonna react to the team list of each game, each team, see any notable changes and notable omissions. I'll definitely do like a preview and a tips video before round one. I'll delve in a little bit more and give you guys my thoughts between the games. But in this one, I'm just going to talk about the teams, see the changes. I don't know. The Panthers Seagulls up first. There's one big name here. Let's see if he has been named, and he has not been. So no Nathan Cleary for the Panthers. Looking at Panthers, we've got Dylan Edwards, Charlie Staines, Tago, Crichton, To'o. Very standard back five. Luai in the six, and then Sean O'Sullivan. You know, a handy recruit for them, obviously, because I don't know who else they would have. I'm sure they'd have like a young kid in the lower grades, but yeah, I mean, Sean O'Sullivan, he can just steer the ship around. He's honestly, he's a very underrated and a decent player. I'm excuse me, I'm a little shocked he hasn't found like a club full time, but you know, good cover for the Panthers. Forward pack of Moses Leota, Appy Coruscant, James Fisher-Harris, very standard. Kickout, Martin, Yo, no surprises there. And then the bench of Kenny, Sorensen, Linu, and Matt Eisenhuth. So, Jermaine Hopgood was very good in the trials. I'm a little surprised he maybe didn't get a bench spot over Eisenhuth. I mean, Eisenhuth probably just a bigger body for the middle rotation, but I thought Hopgood was very good. That's pretty much it for the Panthers. For the Seagulls, I think it's pretty stock standard here as well. You got Tom Trbojevic, Jason Saab, Brad Parker, Morgan Harper, Ruben Garrick, Foreign, Cherry Evans, Sipley. That's one surprise for me. So Sipley, Croker, and Tapau. Yeah, I'll get into the Sipley thing in a second. Olakau'atu is named, which is a little shocking. I thought he broke his arm or dislocated his elbow or something serious, like literally like a couple of weeks ago. So I'm shocked that he's been named. I'd maybe keep an eye on that for like late mail if he doesn't pass fit, but I mean, it's good news for them. Ethan Bullimore still retains that other back row spot. There was obviously a little bit of talk about, Andrew Davey and then Kane Lawton as well. So Bullimore is definitely second or third cab off the rank, probably other than Olakau'atu and obviously Schuster, who's out. Joe Trbojevic, and you got the young speedster Koala on the bench, the 14. I mean, it's not a bad option. Because I guess Croker has shown he can play the full 80. I don't particularly like Croker, but I mean, he does the job. He doesn't do anything too flashy, but he does the job for 80 minutes. So having a guy like Koala just for the backup, and just, for a little bit of X factor potentially to come on through the middle, maybe. There's a guy there, Carl Lawton, and Sean Kepi and Taniela Paseka. So I really thought Paseka would get the starting spot over Sipley. I'm a little surprised there. I thought Paseka probably deserved it, or even honestly even Sean Kepi. But yeah, they've gone with Sipley. Old Georgie Tafua, man. Poor old George. He was like the cult hero at the Seagulls, but unfortunately, he was he injured pretty much all of last year, or was he just not getting picked? Because now, he's probably not going to get back into this team with Jason Saab and Ruben Garrick, the wingers. So poor old Georgie Tafua. We're not going to see any more bell ringers from him for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if Redcliffe pick him up if they haven't already. So there's the first game. Should be a good one. Obviously, a bit of a shame Cleary isn't there for a big clash against the Seagulls, but Still, the Panthers have to show that they can win without Cleary, basically. So it's a good tester. Now we have the Raiders v Sharkies. So, there's one big omission and a bit of a smoky comes in. So Clockstead, Nick Kotrick, James Schiller is one center. Then Matt Tomoko, who is an absolute gun. Oh, I love Tomoko. He is an absolute superstar. Semi Velame, Jack White, Brad Schneider, who was sort of talked about before. Obviously, the terrible news with Fogarty suffering a bad knee injury. Man, that's such bad luck for Fogarty and the Raiders. But Brad Schneider, there's some wraps around, so we'll see how he goes. The young kid, Josh Papali'i, Josh Hodgson, Joe Tarpany, Hudson Young, Haru Naira, Elliot Whitehead is the 13. Tom Starling, Emre Gula, Adam Elliott, and Corey Horsburgh. So Ryan Sutton. Bit of an omission. He's been pretty good for them, but they do have a very strong forward pack. I honestly don't know why they signed Adam Elliott. I think Elliott is very overrated. I heard quite a few people, a few of the Supercoach podcast people talking about Elliott was going to get the starting lock spot, which I was just in shock because he's not that good. But I don't know. I'd have Sutton over Elliott, but whatever. And then the other big one, Jared Croker, and I guess Xavier Savage, and even Sam Williams. So no Sam Williams. They've gone with the young kid in Schneider, so they've obviously got some faith. But Savage doesn't get a wing spot. They could have put Kotrick to center and Savage to the wing. A little surprising they didn't do that. And then even Croker not getting named is it's a big drop. It's a very big drop from Ricky Stewart. They obviously have pretty high hopes for this young kid, James Schiller. I'd never seen him. So yeah, I'm excited to, because obviously if you're keeping Savage out and Croker, not that I think Croker has been in good form lately, but he is their captain. He's there, he's been at the club forever, so it's a big omission there. As we look at the Sharkies here, Will Kennedy, Sione Katoa, Jesse Ramian, Ronaldo Mulatalo comes into the centres. I'm very excited for that, because obviously he's been a winger his whole career, but he's definitely got the skill. He's got the strength. He's got it all to play in the centres, so I'm very excited to see that. Obviously, no Connor Tracy in the centres, so yeah, they've gone with Ikavalu, and yeah, Mulatalo. So yeah, Tracy, I do think he's probably best as that 14. I haven't seen, but I'm assuming he's the 14. And yeah, I just, Mulatalo, I think as a centre, just a little bit better than Tracy. Matt Moylan, Nico Hines, Toby Rudolph, Blake Brayley, Braden Hamlin-Ueli, Bryn Nakora, Teague Wilton, Adal Finucane. So very standard there. Braden Hamlin-Ueli getting the starting prop spot. This a little bit it's on topic for Supercoach, but I was keen on Hamlin-Ueli because he's about 300k, and he's got the starting spot. I don't know if I could go him, because we'll look at their bench. No Connor Tracy. What is this bench? What is this bench? Is Tracy injured? Surely Tracy's injured, but they've got... What is this bench? Aiden Tolman in the 14, Talakai, Royce Hunt, and Fafita. They're all middles. I mean, Talakai can play on the edge, but I'd say he's better in the middle. And then fucking Tolman. I think Hunt definitely deserves it. And, Fafita has been in, decent form in the trials. But what is that bench? I am shocked. Yeah, what? I don't know. I mean, yeah, the game is probably going to be a little slower, but it's still going to be quicker than it was a couple of years ago. And running with four big men on the bench, I just feel like that's playing with danger. Like, if this can't be right. Like, surely they changed something before the game, because if they lose a backline player, they're stuffed. They're actually screwed. So yeah, that's very weird. I have no idea what the heck I don't know what the heck they're thinking. Connor Tracy, I don't know. I didn't hear Tracy is injured. I mean, if he wasn't injured, I mean, Luke Metcalf could be a decent 14. I like Jaden Barrell a lot. I think he's very, very good. So, yeah, very strange. Very, very strange indeed. That bench is shocking to me. Broncos v Rabbitoh. So, pretty much, yeah, obviously no Reynolds, unfortunately. Dude, it's... I'm so mad. I'm so mad as a Broncos supporter, dude. That no Reynolds round 1 against the Rabbits. It would have been a good game, and also as a Broncos fan, I want to see them win. But they're gonna have to do it without him. So we'll see how they can perform. Jermaine Saka gets the fullback spot, which I mean, it's funny because Azarko has errors in his game, but I do think Azarko at the moment is the Broncos' best fullback. Obviously, with Tessie New out injured. I mean, Selwyn Cobbo probably in a couple of years will go to fullback and be very good. But as it stands right now, I do think this is the strongest Broncos lineup, having Azarko at fullback. If he's in good form, honestly, he's as good as any fullback in the comp if he's in good form. I mean, maybe not Tom Trbojevic, but he's very good if he's on form. I'm not saying he plays, at the top line all the time, but man, if he's on fire, he looks good. So I don't mind it. Corey Oates gets the other spot. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, him and John Pereira, fairly like for like. Both big bodies, take a lot of hit-ups, make good ground. I probably would have liked to see John Pereira. I just think he's been really good in the trials. I think he's one Broncos that's put in, really good effort in it every game he's played. Corey Oates has been a little bit underwhelming from what I've seen. I do like Oates a lot, and I feel like he's been stuffed around. He was stuffed around a lot last year. So I'm not disappointed to see him back in the team, and I think he'll do a good job. But I'm a little disappointed that Pereira didn't get the spot. Cobbo, the other winger, Katoni Staggs, Herbie Farnworth. I mean, it's a pretty decent back five, all things considered. Billy Walters, Albert Kelly. This is going to be the main point, is if the halves can fire. Keenan Palacia gets one of the prop spots, so a little bit of a surprise there. Obviously, with no Tom Flegler, he would be the starter, but they needed to find someone, and obviously no Kobe Hetherington as well. So maybe Hetherington would have been the starting prop. Jake Turpin, Payne Haas. So yeah, Turpin does regain the spot over Corey Pakes. Probably fair enough. Capel, Ricky, and Pat Carrigan. Again, I saw... Dude, I was losing my mind. I saw so many people, like, these Supercoach and, like, not even Supercoach, but, like, other people, like, in, like, the footy talks on, like, Twitter and stuff, talking, like, Carrigan, like, wasn't even going to be in the starting 13, but more is, like, maybe a prop. Like, obviously he was going to be the lock. Like, what? I'm just like, what are you talking about? Carrigan is a very good player, and he's obviously going to be the starting lock. So yeah, I was losing my mind at some of the players people put the positions in. So Ryan James, Reece Kennedy. Why on earth does Kennedy keep getting a start in this Broncos team? I will be forever shocked. Like, they have so many better young forwards. Reece Kennedy is absolute garbage, but whatever. TC Rabadi, and then Tyrone Roberts. So I'm pretty sure that's the Tyrone Roberts that... I mean, he's been around for a few clubs, but probably most notably was at the Titans for a long time there. A very good player, honestly. I honestly didn't even know he signed with the Broncos, but he gets the 17. Yeah, bit strange. Yeah, Corey, like, looking at this, Corey Jensen definitely should be in over Reece Kennedy. You look at the guys that aren't playing, like Brenko Lee, Queensland player a couple of years ago, Jordan Pereira, I was talking about, Tamara Martin. I'm surprised he didn't get that utility role, honestly. And then obviously Ezra Mam could have maybe got a starting spot, but probably good that he didn't. Looking at the Rabbitohs, Blake Taff, Alex Johnson, Jackson Paulo, Campbell Graham, Tane Milne, all pretty standard. Probably no Josh Mansour, maybe a little bit of a shock, but I do rate Tane Milne pretty highly, so I'm not that, I guess, surprised. Cody Walker, Lachlan Ilias, Junior Totola, Damien Cook, Mark Nichols, Callum Tungy, Jai Arrow, Cameron Murray, all very standard. Then we have Jacob Host, Havili, Tom Burgess, and Michael Cheekham, the new recruit. A pretty solid recruit, actually. He's a good backup. Honestly, you can play through the middle, play on an edge, play in the centres. Good signing for the Rabbitohs, actually, Michael Cheekham. Very underrated player. So, fairly stock standard there for the Rabbits. Moving on to the Roosters Knights. So, one sneaky one here. So, James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, Billy Smith finally gets that starting centre spot. He's sort of been primed for the last couple of years, and then obviously serious injury after serious injury, so it's great to see him get the starting spot in round one. Let's see what he can do now. It's been a long time in between drinks. Joey Manu, Sam Walker, Paul Momirovski, actually the winger, so they had some options. Kevin Nguama, the new signing, didn't get a spot. Sammy Walker, Luke Keary, Hargraves, Watson. Also, Watson gets a starting dummy half. That's strange, honestly. I mean, I love Watson, but that's a little weird. I've got to be honest. Lindsay Collins, Angus Trine, Tupanua, Victor Radley, Drew Hutchinson, Fletcher Baker, Nat Butcher, Takiaho. Actually, did Verrills... Oh, Verrills was suspended for a round, wasn't he? Yeah, he was suspended. So that makes sense that Watson gets a starting spot. I was like, why wouldn't he be the 14 and Verrills? But no, Verrills is out for I think a week, maybe two. But other than that, pretty standard. Yeah, not too much else to talk about. Yeah, they have some good depth, obviously, with Nguama, Lockie Lamb, Adam Kieran was pretty solid in the trials. Then we look at the Knights. Kalen Ponga, Dominic Young, Dane Gagai, Bradman Best, and Nari Tuala. So good to see Bradman Best named after another sort of niggle in the trial where he's clutching an ankle. It's just the way he reminds me of like a Sikamanu that always sort of broke through tackles, and you just had players sort of like, they had to get him to ground. They're just sort of holding on, and then they just sort of fall to ground and just roll the ankle on him and stuff like that. It happened to Sikamanu every time he ran it. And Bradman Best, very similar. He just sort of, they just have to bring him down, and they just sort of roll. Not like illegally, but it just happens in tackles. Jay Clifford, Adam Clune. Honestly, very good in the trials, both these guys. Dave Clemmer, Chris Randall, Saifidi. So, yeah, news coming out. The other Saifidi brother is out injured for, I think it was like five or so weeks. Tyson Frizzell, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Curtin Mann. Oh, man. Phoenix Crossland, Mitch Barnett, Leo Thompson, and Mama Sia. How on earth is Mitch Barnett not starting over Lachlan Fitzgibbon? I'm freaking Barnett was their best forward all of last year. I mean, him and Frizzell were great, but I mean, Barnett was so good last year. He was incredible at lock. He was incredible in the back row. He's just a far better player than Fitzgibbon. Why on earth? Why on earth are they playing Barnett over Fitzgibbon? I mean, I guess Barnett offers, a bit more versatility off the bench. He can play in the middle. He can play on an edge. So maybe that's the reason. But man, you're doing Barnett dirty. Very, very underrated football player in my mind, Barnett. Looking at the next game, Warriors v Dragons. So, Warriors. Chanel Harris-Tavita at fullback. So, yeah, with no Reece Walsh, Harris-Tavita gets that fullback spot. Dallin Watani-Lesniak. Viliami Velia? Not too sure. I don't. Trying to think if I saw him in the trials. I don't think so. Rocco Berry, Marcelo Montoya, Cody Nikarima, Sean Johnson, Adam Fanua-Blake, Wade Egan, Bunty Afoa, Ewan Aiken, Elias Katoa, Josh Curran. So finally Katoa gets that starting spot back. He's an absolute monster. Last year was a bit just sort of injury riddled, but it's great to see him back in the starting spot, which he belongs. Jazz Tavanga, I thought maybe Tavanga might get a spot, but he's a very good 14. Ben Murdoch-Masila, Aaron Penne, Bailey Sirinen. So it's a pretty strong. I mean, it's a strong team on paper. The back line is a little bit, a bit unproven, I would say, like the back five, but other than that, it's pretty strong. Not too many notable. Maybe Jesse Arthurs or Edward Cossey could have got that centre spot over the young Velia, but obviously a young star coming through. The Dragons, Tyrell Sloan, Cody Ramsey, Moses Sully, Zach Lomax, Ravalaara, Talatel Amone, Ben Hunt, Blake Laurie, Andrew McCulloch, Aaron Woods gets a starting spot. Why on earth did they sign Aaron Woods, man? Oh my god. Jack Bird, Jaden Sewer, Jack DeBellin, Moses Mbai. Very good. Honestly, I think it's a very good signing, Moses Mbai. Just such a perfect 14. Francis Molo, Josh Kerr, and Jack Gazeski. So, what? Josh Kerr or Francis Molo should be starting over Aaron Woods, in my opinion. But yeah, no. Telltale Moga. He's more of a center, so yeah, he probably wasn't going to get a spot. Famasili, a little bit unlucky, maybe not to get a bench spot. But other than that, it's pretty much stock standards. It's honestly, it's a strong Dragons team. I gotta be honest. A lot of people were claiming that the Dragons were sort of wooden spoon contenders. I think the Dragons are top 8 for sure this year. Now I know they've had a good team on paper for a few years, but I think they're a bit of a smoky, not to win the comp, but I think they'll be pretty good. Tigers v Storm. So Tigers, Dane Laurie, Nofaluma, James Roberts. So yeah, James Roberts does get that centre spot back after ever since leaving the Broncos, James Roberts has been just pretty useless. Man, he used to be so good. I just don't know what happened. Obviously he's had his off-field dramas, and he's a bit of he's troubled in general, so it's a bit sad. But man, he was playing some good footy at the Broncos before he left. Oliver Gildart, so the new recruit from Super League. Be interesting to see. Pretty much every UK backline player has been a massive flop. Probably George Williams at halfback has been the only sort of backline Super League player to actually be really good. So we'll see if the young kid can stand up to NRL rigors defensively. Kemba Marlowe, Jackson Hastings, Luke Brooks, Alex Twal, Jake Simpkin. So yeah, no Jacob Little, because what did he do? He suffered a little knee injury again, so disappointing for him, but Simpkin comes in. Utica Manu, Kelma Tuolangi, Luciano Lua. That's a really good back row. I mean, Luciano, he was very good in the trials. He was very good last year, but this guy Kelma Tuolangi was very similar to Luciano, honestly. Just that big body. Yeah, I like this back row pair quite a bit. And then Joe Offengow, he gets a starting spot. Tyrone Peachy on the 14. I thought maybe would have got the starting lock spot, but again, he's such a good 14, it makes sense. Luke Garner, Zane Musgrove, Alex Seyfarth. So no Thomas McKaylee. That's probably pretty much it. William Key was a guy, we thought maybe would get that centre spot for a bit of a cheapie, but not to be. And then the Storm, they'll be pretty much standard. So Ryan Pappenhausen does get named, which is good to see. You would expect he'll be right. I sort of thought it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors with Pappenhausen. Just, I don't know. I mean, maybe he gets ruled out late, but I sort of always thought he would play. George Jennings, Remus Smith, Justin Olam, Xavier Coates, the new recruit. Nick Meaney plays at 5'8", which is interesting. Jerome Hughes. I mean, it makes sense because they did play Meaney at 5'8" in the trials when Munster went to fullback. I guess they were prepping for Munster not playing in round 1, and they were just giving Meaney some game time. I thought he was okay. Obviously no Munster, but not too bad. Jesse Bromwich, Brandon Smith is back. I mean, I know there's controversy, but man, I'm glad he's back. Like, at the end of the day, like, you want to see the best players in the teams. Like, I don't... Fucking hell. Like, the suspension... This is another topic for another day, but honestly, I think players should just get fined more, percentage-wise to their sort of salary, rather than suspensions, because suspensions don't favour anybody apart from the team that they're going to verse next. Like, the fans don't get to see the best players. Like, the team that they did the indiscretion on. I mean, obviously the Smith one was a bit different, so it's a different kettle of worms again, but yeah, that's another topic for another day. Christian Welsh, Felice Kafusi, Kenny Bromwich, Josh King gets the starting lock spot. Okay, that's interesting. Tyron Wishart, Jane Nikorima, Trent Liero, and Big Nelson. So I thought Nelson would get the 13. I guess when Harry Green comes back, Brandon Smith will obviously be the starting lock. So yeah, King is filling in. I mean, he's a good player, Josh King. So not nothing too crazy there. Yeah. Pretty stock standard for the Storm. Obviously missing a couple of big guns, but still a very, very strong team on paper. Then we move down. 2 more games to go. Parramatta Eels v Gold Coast Titans. So the Eels, Clint Gutherson, Sean Russell does get that spot. Obviously unfortunate for... Oh, geez, what's his name? I'm having a blank. Hayes Dunster. Man... I'm not going to talk about the tackle. I thought it was just bad luck, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But yeah, disappointing for Dunster. Sean Russell comes in. Will Penasini, I like him a lot. Very similar to Tomoko. Wanga Blake, Bailey Simonson, Dylan Brown, Mitchell Moses, Campbell Gillard, Reed Marnie, Junior Paulo, Sean Lane, Isaiah Papali'i, Ryan Madison, the other... Oh, okay, so yeah, Madison does get the lock spot rather than in the back row with, Papali'i playing too well not to get the start there. Makatoa, who has been in great form, Oregon Kafusi, Ray Stone, and Jake Arthur. What? Jake Arthur's a 17. Nathan Brown is not playing. Even Bryce Cartwright not playing? Very strange indeed. I guess, was Nathan Brown coming back from an injury potentially? I thought that's what happened. But why on earth would Jake Arthur be the 17? Like, he's a halfback. It doesn't even look like he's a guy that could come on and play sort of in the middle. I don't know. That's a weird one to me, and honestly, I don't like Jake Arthur at all. I think he's very rubbish. And if he didn't have the Arthur surname, he wouldn't get a look in at all. But yeah, fair enough. The Titans: Jaden Campbell, Philip Sammy, Brian Kelly, Patrick Herbert, Corey Thompson. So no Greg Marju, which is, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you can't drop Corey Thompson. I think you maybe could have dropped Philip Sammy for Marju. Like, I don't know. Sammy's a bit hit and miss. I think Marju's probably just I like Marju a lot, so I would have liked to seen him there, but it makes sense that they've stuck with Philip Sami. Brimson, Sexton. I mean, it's an exciting. I don't know how well the Titans are going to go this year, but it's an exciting back line. Like a lot of young kids, a lot of excitement. I hope they do well. Mo Fodawaker, Aaron Clark, Isaac Liu, the new recruit. It's honestly a really good signing from the Roosters there. Starts at 10. Dave Fafita, Bo Former gets the back row spot over Kevin Proctor. Tino Fasuamawa Ali gets the, obviously, lock spot. Will Smith, Sam Lasone, Jamin Jolliffe, and Kevin Proctor rounded out. And yeah, no Jared Wallace. Jared Wallace has been dropped. No Herman Esiasi. Yeah, I mean, the Titans have a lot of depth, so it's good signs. But yeah, nothing too shocking there. And then the last game of the round, Cowboys v Bulldogs. So let's have a look here. The Cowboys, Fado at fullback, Felt, Holmes, Peter Hiku, Murray Tuolangi. Honestly, I think it's a good signing, the Peter Hiku one. So, some experience, decent defensively, got some skill. I don't mind it. He's probably past his best, but I think he'll do a job. Tom Dearden, Chad Townsend, obviously. Jermaine Tanor-Brown. Okay, there you go. So Tanor-Brown, Reece Robson, Cohen Hess, Helam Lukey, Jeremiah Nanai, and JT. Jason Tamalolo gets his lock spot back, which they did sort of say he would, and it makes sense. I mean, Peyton, what the hell are you thinking? Like, Tamalolo has to play big minutes at lock. Like, it's just what it is. So, I think this is a pretty strong forward pack on paper. A couple of good young kids, Helam Lukey, Jeremiah Nanai. Jermaine Tanor-Brown, I think, is a really good signing. Gets the starting spot as well. So Ruben Cotter is back to the bench. So that sort of rubs him out of Supercoach standings, which, it is what it is. Honestly, you can save some money with other cheaper back rowers now. Jordan McLean, Mitchell Dunn, and Tom Gilbert. So, yeah, no Scotty Drinkwater with the Dearden Townsend. I honestly, I don't agree with that at all. Like, Dearden is a halfback, and obviously Townsend is a halfback. Obviously, they signed Townsend on big money, so it's got to be Drinkwater and Townsend. Like, surely. Yeah, this is wrong. This is an incorrect halves pairing, in my opinion. Griffin Neem, a little bit unlucky maybe not to get a bench spot. I honestly think Jordan McLean could get out of the whole team altogether. He's rubbish. And then we look at the Bulldogs. So Matt Duffy, Jade Knockenbore, Braden Burns, Brent Naden. So no Aaron Shoop, who was very good for them last year. Obviously, with all the signings, he was a little bit unlucky. But yeah, I thought he might still get a spot. Honestly, Naden's defense in that in the second trial was some of the worst I've ever seen. So I don't like Naden at all. I don't know why they signed him. He can do something in attack, but my God, his defense is atrocious. Josh Adokar, honestly, it's funny. Like, Adokar is used to the Storm, and having, who do you have? Justin Olam inside of him. He's going to have Brent Naden, and man, they had some issues down their side, so he's not going to be used to that poor old Adokar. Matt Burton, Jake Avarillo. So yeah, no Kyle Flanagan, which makes sense. I mean, Avarillo played the trials. I don't think Avarillo is a halfback, but they're trying to turn him into one. So we'll see if it works. Luke Thompson, Jeremy Marshall King, Paul Vaughan, Jack Hetherington, Tavita Pangai Jr., Josh Jackson, Biondi Odo, Corey Waddell, Max King, and Chris Patolo. So yeah, no Aaron Shoop, a little bit unlucky. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's the first team list Tuesday. I will, like I said, there'll be a video coming up before the first game of round one, giving you guys my tips and previews. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.